All right. Let's do this. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hi, Bella. Yes, I recognize the name. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. It's a different type of stream tonight. We are starting with a sketch card because there's a community activity for an artist that I follow that I've been wanting to get involved in for a really long time. But I've always been kind of too busy. There we go, that's better. Always have to readjust after my Zoom classes. Yeah, there's a community activity for an artist I really like called Anthony Wheeler Art, and he's here on TikTok, and he's also out on Twitch. And he does this thing for his community called Chaotic Draw Along, where they pick some prompts and everybody draws along to the prompt. And I've been wanting to join in, but I've been too busy for the longest time. So I thought on my Thursday night streams, I would draw whatever that week's prompt is as one of my sketch cards. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Hi, Wise Guy. Hi, Sage. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Snud. So yeah, I thought that's what we'll start off with tonight. We'll kick it off with a sketch card of whatever this week's prompt is. And now there's a few alt prompts available. So I'm going to pick one, and I pick two, and you folks can do the poll to help me decide which one to actually do. And then once we've drawn that, we'll jump into my projects. Hi, Joey. Now, where is Anthony's Discord so I can find those prompts? Hi, C. Hi, Monkey Boy. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to read out a couple, and I want you folks to... Hi, Aero Explorer. I want you folks to tell me which ones you like the sound of, okay? So, we've got Chibi Turtles, Accidental X-Rays, Robot Wizard, Cloud Wrangler. I'll do those again. Chibi Turtles, Accidental X-Rays, Robot Wizard, Cloud Wrangler, Ghost Pirate. I'm kind of inclined to go with that one. Voluptuous Vampire, Old Supers, Blorfy Cat, Good News Bears. So these are all some drawing prompts, and I want you folks in the chat to tell me which ones you like the sound of. Quantum Rooster, Donut Detective, Roach Motel, Is This Infected? Hi, Agnes. Easter Mania, Royal Orcas, Disco Dragon. Donut Detective does sound kind of fun. Hi, Spider Teen. Night, like nighttime, night. Derby Derelict, Slug Life, Question Easter Eggs, Tooth Fairy Enforcer, The Other Seven Dwarves, and Alien Ted Talk About Forks. I think that one's a bit too intense to do as a sketch card, so that last one. So I think I'm going to put up a poll. Hi, Conquests, Cat. I think I'm going to put up a poll between Ghost Pirate and Donut Detective. Alright, let's use a quick poll. Happy face is Ghost Pirate, and sad face, crying emoji is Donut Detective. So get those votes in. Let's go. There it goes. You should be able to see that above chat now and be able to join. Hi, Lono. Hi, the Rizzler 6363. We're voting for what I'm going to draw tonight, and your choice is between Ghost Pirate, and that's the happy face, and Donut Detective, and that's the crying emoji. Hi, Sharakina. So, Ghost Pirate, happy face. Donut Detective, crying face. Hi, Kate. Alright. Almost there. Ghost Pirate is the happy face. Donut Detective is the crying face. Get your votes in. Click on the poll above the chat to vote, and we'll get into it. Alright. Alright, Donut Detective it is. Let me just think about that. Hi, Mr. Numbers. Alright, we're going to set a timer. I don't know yet. We're going to switch over to the main scene.
Right, let's do this!
Alright. I think I'm going to go for something like kind of a pulpy, old-fashioned detective here. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I just got to look it up to remember how these particular donuts look. Hi, Brett's38. Hi, Sarge. Hi, Enrique Hernandez. Welcome. There we go. Hi, Maria. This particular donut is kind of hyper-specific to Australians, but anyone will get it, you know. No, too big. Too big. Needs to be smaller than that. Hi, Big Nazza. Hi, Bedhams. I can't read that one. Hi, Jelly. Hi, PQ. We're drawing a donut detective tonight. That was the prompt that chat chose. So that is the prompt that I'm drawing. They made a special deck of cards to go with this. Anthony actually released a deck of cards that is the chaotic draw along prompts. I definitely want to get a set eventually, but they're really expensive to get to Australia because of the shipping costs and the US dollar exchange rate, unfortunately. But if you're an artist and you want to check it out, especially if you're in America where the shipping is much cheaper, there it is in the chat for you to have a look at. Hi, Dweedle Stick. Yeah, I have. I'm gonna go. I'm taking it kind of literally, and we're gonna draw a detective that is made out of donut. But there was a very specific donut that kids in Australia have grown up with for generations, which is just like a little chocolate donut man, chocolate icing, sprinkles for hair, and I'm gonna do a bit of a play around on that. Hi, Zara. Hi, Elizabeth Ladd. Um, I get inspo from a lot of places. Like sometimes I might see something that someone has drawn, and it might give me an idea for something completely different. But in this case, literally just picking from a prompt list and picking something that I know well and having some fun with that. Sometimes I'll read a comic and I'll really enjoy that genre, and it'll give me an idea for something else. Um, Sometimes it's just something out in the world that gives me the inspiration. Yeah, I started drawing when I was about 12 years old. No, I like the questions. Questions are good. Questions help me keep chatting and make these streams interesting. There are a lot of artists I look up to, honestly. A lot. Rose Stein and Ted Brandt are a couple that I really, really admire. Adam Markowitz, who I have worked with on some of my comics, he's incredible. Rye Hickman, who's currently working on Superboy and was working on Supergirl last year. Sorry, no, Rye Hickman's not working on Superboy. Sky Patridge is working on Superboy. Rye Hickman just put out another book. Shoot, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's really good. Hi, thank you. I really enjoy doing these streams and drawing these sketch cards, and it's really helping me get better at my art practice. Honestly, actually, I'll show you something I drew this morning. I'm working on a correspondence course book at the moment, which is this one. It's the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning correspondence course. And one of the first activities is you have to copy a couple of the drawings that they've got there, do both a trace over and then like looking at it, redraw it, looking at it, redraw it. Thank you, I am. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm really happy with where I'm at. But I also just know there's a lot of stuff that I can learn, especially because I want to make more comics and I need to get better at certain things for comics. And then the rest of the first activity is to draw a series of drawings of some original characters. And so this is the drawing that I did this morning. This is my character, Teddy Valentine. He's from a comic that's coming out. The first story of is coming out later this year. Thanks, Bella. I was really happy with how that one came. I'm so out of practice with traditional media until I started doing these sketch cards, and I've started picking up pencils and pens and markers again. So it's really been helping me push my digital work as well as my traditional media work. And seeing that one come together today really showed how much that has improved. I don't. Hi, your fave short guy. Welcome back. I don't necessarily want to become famous, but I do want a lot of people to enjoy my work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm writing these stories because I want to share them with the world, and drawing them because I want to share them with the world. But I don't necessarily care if I particularly become famous, as long as a lot of people get their hands on my books. That's more what I care about, is more people enjoying the stories that I'm making. At the moment, I've only got one physical printed comic, which is it's an Ashcan comic with 3 short stories in it, and that is available on my Etsy store. But I have some more digital comics on Global Comics and Comics.one. You go to either of those websites and look up Brainbeast Studios, and you'll find my comics. But my first full printed book is coming out later this year. Chrysics, $20 would get you into the late backing for my Kickstarter for the book I'm talking about right now, which means that you get extra stickers and stuff with the comic. It's almost done. It's just about ready to go to print. I'm just waiting for my colorist to deliver the last couple of pages, so those last couple of pages can go off to the letterer, and then we're ready to print. It's 2 short stories. They're 10 pages each, and it's a flip book, so there's a cover on both sides. One story is a horror comedy, and the other one is an action sci-fi sort of story that introduces my character Snuffles the Indomitable. So Getting it through the Kickstarter means that you'll get the extra stickers, the extra print, and stuff like that. And also a bunch of digital comics from other cool Australian creators like Gary Proudley and Trev Wood, Tim McEwen, and a bunch of other really cool people. But if you buy it from my Etsy store later, once the book is actually here from the printer, it won't come with all that extra stuff. But yeah, I'm closing the late backing on Sunday for that. I've just left it open because it's cheaper, especially for. Oh yeah, it's cheaper for the Kickstarter than it will be on my Etsy store, but it's cheaper, especially for the American and UK audience, to get it from my Kickstarter because Australia Post is really expensive to ship to America. But by getting my printers to ship it for the Kickstarter, then my American audience gets a much cheaper shipping rate. Look for Brain Beast Studios on Global Comics, and you'll find all of my stories that have been released so far. I'll see if I can find a direct link for you. One sec. Yeah, there we go. I'll drop a direct link in chat to those. And I'll also drop a link to comics.one because that one is Australian owned. It's owned by a friend of mine, Sorab, and they're about to do a huge website overhaul, and it's going to look really cool when they're done with the website update, actually. I've seen some previews. And if you happen to be in Sydney, follow comics.one at comics_app on Instagram, Threads, etc. because Sorab goes to the conventions in Sydney sometimes, and you can get some books in print from him at those conventions. All right, this is coming along. I'm making his little hat out of waffle cone. Hi, Silver Serpent. Thank you, Bella. It's been a long journey to get here, and I'm surprising myself in a big way, in a way that I like, with these sketch cards. You know, I haven't used these kinds of pens, markers, pencils in a really long time because I've been focused on a lot of digital work because I could get it to print faster. I could just work faster that way. But I'm having a lot of fun with these, and I'm learning a lot, and they're coming out way better than I thought they would. And if anyone's Melbourne based, um, then you can catch me in person at conventions. Hopefully at Metro Comic Con this year. I'm saving up to get a table at Metro Comic Con. But definitely, as long as it's not on the same weekend as Metro, Ballarat PopCon this year. Those are the two conventions that I'm aiming to have a table at. I can't wait to put this one up in my Etsy store after stream, actually. This is really fun. It's so silly. Oh, I don't think I'm going to do a story for this. This is just the one drawing, one and done. But I'm going to do one of these every week from the chaotic draw along prompts. It's a good idea to test myself and try some new things and that sort of thing. How long we got left on the timer? 8 minutes. I reckon I can get it colored in 8 minutes. Time to try my new bag of markers out. I just got them delivered this afternoon. Well, I reckon that's about the right color for the donut. Yeah, that's the right color for that donut. want something slightly more tan for... Yeah. That's good for the waffle cone. After I finish this guy, we're going to swap over to my digital work and work on a sticker of a robot capybara, which is one of the stickers included in the Kickstarter rewards. And don't forget, for those in the audience that are familiar with TikTok gifting and stuff like that, once per stream, you can drop a baby dragon in the chat and redeem one of these sketch cards of your choice. You can tell me what character to draw. I'll draw it live on stream and then post it to you. Someone just joined and I missed that name, but hello, welcome. I looked up a little too slow. Oh gosh, that's a good question. The alt cover I got commissioned for a comic a couple of years ago took me way longer than it should have, because I did everything from penciling to inking to coloring. I'd say that's probably the longest single drawing, and that took me a few weeks. But I've been getting faster. I've been getting to about point where I can do a page anywhere between 3 to 6 panels in about a week and a half. And since doing all those pages, I've really sped up since then. I think that... Oh, gosh, that's an even bigger question. Actually, no, I know what it is. It is the Akira Toriyama style drawing of Snuffles the Indomitable that I did. I'll show you that one when I switch over to the digital. Although my recent Moby Duck drawing is also pretty high up there. That one was really fun. Stop. Okay, there's the timer, but I'm going to finish coloring this because we're so close to finishing it. Watercolor, no, but I do use paint pens. I don't have many colors anymore of paint pens. I've got to get a new set. But I am looking forward to trying out these sketch cards with some paint pens. I need a bit of scrap. Not really, because even the ones that I don't love out of my own work, I still learn something from. So I wouldn't say I don't like them at all. Hi, you're a wizard, Harry. Hi, anyone else who I've just missed. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any of my drawings that I don't like at all, because there's reasons to like them. But there's definitely ones that I don't like as much. But those usually don't see the light of day. I just chalk those ones up to practice, and they don't need to be shown to anyone. This could stand to be a little darker. And I'll figure that out in a second. I think I'll add a warm grey. Yes, I will. I'll be live tomorrow night as well. We do a live Tuesday through Friday. This isn't quite the right shading color, but it's fine. It will do. Hi, Jet. Welcome. What blue? Let's go with this blue. Thank you. I'm really pleased with it. It's very silly, but that is the charm of it. I mean, I would rate them all at an MA 15 plus. Some Americans might rate them as an R because of the swearing, but I don't think there's any more swearing in my comics than any Australian kid would hear walking down the street. But that being said, I definitely don't write them for kids. I write for people of roughly my own age group. You know, I write the stories that I would want to read. This isn't quite Donut King pink, but it's close enough. Hey, hi, Matt on the journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, let's add a little bit of warm grey to this. Hand for shadow. And that part of that donut for shadow. It's definitely double billing, which is the one that's going to come out very soon. Out of everything I've made so far, it's definitely going to be that. That's the one that's dearest to my heart. The Network Man, which is coming out next after that, is also one that I'm really, really proud of. And it's an origin story. The full length book of The Network Man is going to be something special. It's going to be my most political story yet, and it's going to be really fun and interesting. I think so, anyway. All right. And there's our donut detective. So I'll just take a couple of pictures of him. And then slide it into a protective sleeve. And now we're going to switch from table cam to clip studio. Because now we're going to work on the capybara. It's a little bit different every day. So Tuesday and Wednesday are roughly just an hour long. Thursday is 2 to 3 hours. I try to go for 3, but it depends on what time I start. Because at the moment I'm doing a short course. So classes finish at 8. I've got to go have dinner and then come back. And then I can start the live. So if I start at 9, then it'll be 3 hours. If I start after 9, then it'll be 2 hours. And Friday nights are an hour and a half. Or longer if I'm on a roll and having fun, you know? And now I finally get to post something in the Chaotic Draw Along channel. because I've finally done one. That was really fun. Hey, that's no worries. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll be back tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't have class first. So we'll be aiming to go live at 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. More or less around there. You too. Good night. Thanks for joining. Okay. Have a little bit of juice. Okay. And now it's capybara time. And for those who are watching, let me know how the music level is compared to my voice level. Oh. Okay, where is my... Alright. So, everyone that is watching and is in the chat, how's it going? How's your week been? What have you been up to? NVC, hello. I see you creeping. I don't know if you were here in time or not, NVC. Did you see our Donut King hero? NVCDM just lurking in the chat, just waiting for the right opportunity to scare the bejesus out of me. Mm. All right. Hi, Rivers Prue. I didn't quite catch the name quick enough. Hello. All right. All right. So yeah. So for those that are just joining, I'm a comic book artist and general illustrator, and I write comics as well. And tonight, Thursday nights is when I tinker with projects here on stream. And tonight we're working on this sticker for my Kickstarter awards. This will go up in my Etsy store for the Australians because shipping to the US is insane, so it won't be as friendly for my US folks. It'll be available, but the shipping will just be wild. But I will put it on my Threadless store after the Kickstarter fulfillment is finished. So you'll be able to order stickers of it through Threadless and t-shirts and stuff too. Oh, they're back. Hey, welcome back, Bella. Thank you. It's really coming along. I'm just about ready to start on colors. Once I finish adding a few little details. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. So, is it, just so I can greet you properly when you're in chat again, is it Kylian or Killian? Bella, I'm working, this is going to be a sticker. It is one of the robot Killian. Cool, thank you. Good to know. It's a robot capybara from the Snuffles the Indomitable comic. And this is one of the stickers that's going to be part of the stretch goals for the Kickstarter, but it'll be up in my stores later as well, and you'll be able to get it on t-shirts and stuff from my Threadless shop. Much like all my other artwork. Thanks! It's really fun. I really love these little guys. I love drawing them. I've got to find more excuses to put them in the ongoing series when I write it. They'll be around because they use them instead of horses in the world of the comic, but I want as many excuses to draw them as possible. Also, they're probably bigger than you're thinking because, yeah, they use them instead of horses. They're giant robot capybaras. Oh, I can show you actually. I'll show you the one that's my favorite so far. They're all pretty good. Let me just turn on the table cam again for a sec. I have enjoyed all of them. But I do have a standout favorite. This is the one we just did. The Donut Detective. I was using prompts from a streamer friend of mine's Discord server. He's got a thing he created called the Chaotic Draw Along, and they got prompts. And they've got a deck of prompt cards where you can draw different cards, and it'll give you a silly prompt to draw. And so one of the prompts that I chose for tonight, because I've been wanting to get involved in the Chaotic Draw Along for forever, so I'm finally going to do that on Thursday nights to start off the stream. So every Thursday, we'll pick one of the prompts for that week from the Chaotic Draw Along Discord, and we'll draw that. Just to start off the stream for a bit of fun. So this is the first one, and it was Donut Detective. So it was a lot of fun. I definitely want to get the Chaotic Draw Along card deck eventually, but the shipping to Australia is really expensive. And the exchange rate is a bit rough. I probably won't make a story with the Donut Detective. Most of the Chaotic Draw Along prompt, I will just do the one drawing and then leave it be. but they will be fun. They're going to be a lot of fun to do. This one was pretty fun. This was one of the first ones that I did. So was this one, and this one. Those four were all from the same session. Venom is probably my second favorite. All the Ninja Turtles ones have turned out great so far. Fugitoid, Pepperoni, Bebop, Mikey, Donnie, Leo from last night, and this one is my favorite. There's just something about it that I really, really like how it came out. And so once I finish the Ninja Turtle set that I'm doing, I'm going to do a whole Gundam set. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing some more Ninja Turtles, Bella. We'll do Raphael first, because Lulu really wants me to draw Raphael, and he's the last of the 4 core turtles that I have to draw. And then I'll put a poll up once I've drawn Raphael, and we can choose whether I draw another one of the heroes from the Turtles universe or one of the villains. Because I've got a whole set. Lulu is one of the other viewers who's been in chat a lot recently, and they voted on one of the other drawings last night, and we ended up drawing Leonardo. But their favorite turtle is Raphael, and Raphael is the last of the main 4 left to do. So we're gonna make Raph the first drawing of the night. I think Lulu started joining the streams the same night that you did, Killian. From memory. My voice is a little funny tonight because I accidentally bit my tongue earlier. And I keep catching it while I'm trying to talk, and it's making me say things weird. Oh yeah, sorry Bella, I promised I would show you that favorite drawing of mine earlier. Let me open it. Here it is. This is probably my favorite one from the last year or so. This is a version of Snuffles, the main character from my comic. But I drew this in honor of Akira Toriyama. But pretty much any drawing of Snuffles is going to be one of my favorites. Thank you, everyone. Hi, lesbian. Let me see if I can find the other one of Snuffles that I just finished the other day. Yeah, here it is. So this is both the first ever drawing and most recent drawing of Snuffles. So the original pencil drawing of this I drew like 10 years ago. And it was the first concept that I came up with for Snuffles the Indomitable. So last week I sat down and I decided to just redraw it and ink it a little bit and give it a bit more life and turn it into something that I could use. Thank you, I'm glad you do, because Snuffles is my favorite character I've created so far. Let me find it and I'll show you the original pencil drawing. Here we go. So this is the original pencil drawing of the very, very first drawing ever done of Snuffles. I like them both equally, to be honest, Bella. I got into the habit of drawing digitally the most for a long time. just because I can work faster that way, but I really enjoy the feeling of drawing on paper. And yeah, so this was the first ever drawing of Snuffles, and then this is the updated version. Hey, no worries, Killian. Have a great night. Keep an eye out on the main TikTok channel tomorrow because it's Friday, and Friday is when I drop a time lapse. So we'll post one of the time lapses of either one of my digital drawings or one of these sketch cards. All right. Who wants to see some of the fan art of Snuffles that some of my favorite artist buddies have drawn? All right, give me a second and I will jump into the fan art folder. Okay, let's start with my buddy Anthony. These are all by the same person. He's drawn quite a few Snuffles. This was one of his more recent ones. This was the first one he ever did of Snuffles. I really loved how he depicted him here. This was a bit of a sillier one. Just another take experimenting. A punk Snuffles. Somebody asked me to draw them a punk Snuffles a while back, so Anthony decided to have a go at it too. Snuffles riding one of the capybaras. I really want Anthony to do a bigger version, completely finished of this, because I absolutely love his take on the robot capybaras too. I just want, I need a few $1,000s so I can just throw it at Anthony so he can work on a Snuffles comic for me. This was him doing a take on that transformation scene that I showed you just before. Hi, Sketching the Beast. So Anthony was having a go at that. And this was one of his other recent ones. This one is by my buddy Toby. And he's amazing. It's really cool having such talented friends that can draw my own character even better than I can. This one is by my buddy Jay. Jay and I are actually working on a cowboy comic set in Australia. So it's set during the Ballarat Gold Rush. It's just a short 10-page one. But that one will be available in print when we're finished it. So this kind of style, Western story set in Victoria in the Gold Rush area. This one was a birthday gift from my buddy Marcus, who's one of the owners of the comics publisher Dauntless Stories. They're doing some really, really great stuff, and they have a Kickstarter live at the moment. They call it the Dauntless Showcase, and it's a bunch of stories from a range of the Dauntless creators. So definitely check out the Dauntless Showcase. Um, this one is by my buddy Matt Harding, and Matt also actually did the cover for the Snuffles the Indomitable side of the double billing comic. We haven't actually revealed the full cover yet, but if you find Matt Harding art on social media, you'll get to see the inks. He posted the ink work. And this one is by my buddy Adam Markowitz, who was the artist on my first comic that got released, The High Cost of Living. And this is a special print that he did for me for the Kickstarter awards. Adam is incredible. I absolutely love Adam's work. Anything with Adam's name on it, you're going to love. You'll absolutely love it. Yeah, this one was really special because Snuffles was magically transformed into a pug man. So this one, that's his little sister, and her name is Wiggles. So it's just Snuffles and Wiggles relaxing by the fire after a big adventure. Adam is incredible. I love Adam's work. I can't wait till I can afford to work with Adam again, honestly. Absolutely cannot wait. And here's a little sneak peek at the Western with Jay. This is one of the pages that Jay's was working. Oh, I'm not sure, honestly. I think my first chatter was my friend Mel. I've only been doing the lives for a couple of weeks. On Twitch, I've been a Twitch streamer for almost 10 years. But TikTok lives I've only been doing for like 2 weeks. I think this is the 3rd week right now. Yeah, I'm really blessed to have some incredibly skilled friends who like my silly little dog man and want to draw him. It's really special. A lot of people seem to like the Snuffles character, which is great. I can't wait to write more stories about him. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. The Snuffles story is... Hey, MVC, hello! Yes, a dog man. Yeah, the Snuffles story is probably more similar to a Kurosawa film than Dogman, if I'm being honest. But with a lot of sci-fi stuff in it. No, not in like a Full Metal Alchemist way. No, Snuffles just drank basically a polymorph potion and was transformed into the dog that we know and love. There were a few smashed potions on the ground, and that ended up becoming Snuffles. Oh gosh. Honestly, it's the favorite parts are parts that I've only written like the vaguest of notes about so far, because I've done a rough outline of the entire series that I want to write, but I did that a long time ago, and I realized how long the book was going to get, so I put it away for a while until I could publish a few more short stories and get the hang of making comics and how to write a comic and pacing and all that sort of stuff before I tackled the long story. And I've kind of reached a point now where I feel like I'm there. Not all of those stories that I've written are out yet. A lot of them are still in development in different stages with artist buddies of mine. Some are only in script form. This next one that's coming out is my first actual book. All my stories before that were just short stories that have only been released digitally. But double billing, the Kickstarter one that I showed earlier that I'm about to release, is the first one. Definitely not the last. Hey, PS2 Fat Boy, hello! It's coming out any time now. In the next few weeks to a month or so. I should have the last of the colored pages back from the colorist by this weekend, and then I've got to send that to the letterer, and it'll probably take him a week, maybe 2 weeks, to letter those pages, and then I've just got to assemble it all and send it to the printer. I've got to finish these stickers first so that they can go to the printer along with the book. But once the printer is done, it will be on Global Comics digitally, and it'll be on my Etsy store physically. But if anyone wants to get the physical version along with all the extra goodies, then back the Kickstarter and you'll get all of the stickers, and you'll get a nice glossy version of that print that Adam drew of Snuffles and Wiggles by the fire. You'll get all of that included with your copy of the book. But once it's out on Etsy, it'll go from $8 to $10, and it'll just be the book by itself without all the extra goodies. But the digital version will be on both Global Comics and Comics.one. Hi, Lulu. I was just talking about you a few minutes ago. I was just saying that we're going to draw Raphael tomorrow night. No, please don't be sorry, Bella. I like the questions. It's nice that if someone is interested and wants to hear about the books. And it gives me something to chat about. It's hard sometimes to come up with things to chat about all on my own when I'm streaming, you know? So I like it when people ask questions while I'm streaming. What have you missed? We started off with a sketch card. We did the thing I was talking about last night, where I grabbed a prompt out of the chaotic draw along Discord server. And the prompt that got voted on today was Donut Detective. And so this is our Donut Detective. So we drew that to start the night off. And since then, I've just been working on my robot capybara again. We're making good progress. It's looking pretty good. And we've been... What have we been doing? We've been talking about Snuffles the Indomitable and some of the other comics that I'm working on, bit by bit. This is a mock cover for The Network Man, which is the TV-headed guy that I showed earlier. This is the comic that he's coming from. So the first story of The Network Man is going to be The Network Man Genesis, and that's his origin story. Yeah. Just you wait, MVC. There's going to be so many new pictures of Teddy and Cable. I'm about to draw the first ever drawing of Cable tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to draw them yet. Thank you, Lulu. I really, really loved this guy. And this one was based off the painting that you were asking me about earlier, Bella, when you asked if I paint anything. The collage that I turned into that painting that we were talking about at the start of the stream, I then did this digital drawing based off that painting. And that became The Network Man. This is one of the other stickers for the Kickstarter, based on Teddy Valentine, The Network Man. This is a picture by Anthony, who I drew all those Snuffles pictures that I was showing you before, Bella. So this is the first fan art of The Network Man. Thank you, Lulu. Yeah, I've been doing digital for a really long time, and I got really out of practice with traditional. So I decided I need to start doing more traditional practice, which is why I started doing the sketch cards. This is that cover that I told you about, Bella, when you asked me which drawing took the longest. It was this one, because I penciled it traditionally, and then I scanned it, and then I inked and colored it digitally. I've still got the original pencils around here somewhere. Thank you. And where's Moby Duck? This is the Moby Duck one that I was talking about. That is also one of my favorites. I did this a couple of months ago now. I was just before Christmas I did this one. See ya! But yeah, MVC, I'm gonna draw Cable tomorrow during the day at some point. Because part of that activity for the course that I've got to do is to do a series of drawings of original characters. So I'm gonna do Cable, and I might even do the Spud. I haven't drawn any of the villains yet either, so I might do a headshot of the Spud. Yeah, I had a lot of fun naming all the characters in that comic. So it's Teddy Valentine, initials TV, is the network man with the TV head, and Cable, Kabel, Chanel is Teddy's partner in the field. Um, and I'm really looking forward to drawing them because they're a non-binary character, um, and they're going to be short, small but powerful, like an Italian sports car. Um, and then there's Karen Borgage. It's just Karen Baggage, who is basically just Pauline Hanson with a blonde wig. And Fox Newsom, I haven't decided how he's going to look exactly yet, other than, as Robin has kind of coined it, it's like one of those peoples that look like they should be handsome, but they're not. If you know what I mean. He's like Republican handsome. Or LNP handsome. He's got the hallmarks of being handsome, like a big jaw and blue eyes or cheekbones or whatever, but all the parts don't go together right and it looks uncanny. So that's kind of what Fox is going to look like, but I haven't decided exactly what that looks like yet. I've got to do a few headshot sketches to see what I like about it. And then the head of the Murdoch Syndicate is the Spud, who I think, I haven't decided if his real name is going to be Peter Scott Abbott or Scott Tony Dutton. But it's going to be one of those. And I'm not sure where you're located, Bella. So I'm not sure if you're particularly familiar with Australian politics. But all of the villains are based off right-wing Australian politicians. And if you have a look at my comic Glitch Cache on Global Comics or Comics.1. Yes, excellent. Yeah, there you go. You get it. Yeah, so the Spud is just Peter Dutton in a wig. Legally distinct Peter Dutton. The Network Man was both my excuse to draw fun retro-futuristic sci-fi spy stories and also work out my frustrations with the Australian political system. So if you're in Victoria, Bella, does that mean that you will be going to Metro Comic Con this year? Well, if you do, keep an eye out for me in Artist Alley. I don't have a slot booked yet, but I'm saving up for it. And when applications open, if I've got the money, I will be applying for it. And they haven't announced the dates yet, but it was in September last year and the year before. So keep an eye out for Ballarat PopCon in September. I'll definitely be at that one, as long as it's not the same weekend as Metro Comic Con. If it's the same weekend, then I'm going to prioritize Metro, because I want to release double billing there. And the Network Man is actually set in Melbourne. Or in and around Melbourne. It's going to be an alternate universe Melbourne, where everything still looks like super 70s, but also super futuristic. But it will be distinctly Melbourne. Whereas, hi Elizabeth Dankworth. And I just missed somebody else's name just before because I was talking. Sorry. Welcome, new folks. The High Cost of Living, which is up on Global Comics. That one is set in Brisbane, and so is Below the Waist, which is the other story that's in the double billing comic that I'm about to release. They're both set in Brisbane. Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I'll probably finish at 12 tonight and just do 2 hours because I started late. Thursdays are usually between 2 and 3 hours, depending on how late I get started. Once my classes are over, they'll definitely be 3 hours, because I'll be able to start earlier. Oh yeah, no, I get plenty of sleep. I've worked out my schedule so that because I work from home, because I'm doing a self-employment assistance program to let me work in my studio full time for a year. So because I work from home, I've sorted out my schedule to allow me to do my nighttime streaming again, and like do all my creative work in the afternoon and evening when my brain is working better. So I sleep till about 8:30, and then I get up, do my housework stuff, run any errands that I need to run, have breakfast and all that sort of stuff, and then get ready and start my day at 12. And so I'll work from 12 through till 6, stop for dinner, hang out with my partner and have dinner, maybe watch an episode of TV while we eat, and then come upstairs and do my live stream. So I just do the like after work stuff that most people would do earlier in the day when I've got more energy and I've had good sleep, because I've found that getting up any earlier than 7:30 fucks with my sleep patterns. So I still only get like a normal 8 hours of sleep. I just shift it to a little bit later, and I get much better, much more restorative sleep, and then I can work into the night when I feel most awake and most creative. Okay. Oops. Hi, Harina. Thanks, Bella. I'm really happy with it. It's going to be a really fun sticker. I'm definitely going to draw more of these things as other stickers, just like a set of them, you know, running, jumping, you know, just sitting down, getting refueled, and that sort of thing. Being tended to by their owners. Stuff like that. Bit of slice of life sketches, and I'll turn those sketches into stickers. If they're good enough. If I don't like them very much, then they won't get seen other than a here's what I doodled today kind of way. Cool. Well, I'm pretty happy with that there for now. I might leave it there for now and transfer it over to my other drawing tablet. Once I just add a little bit just here. There we go. It's mostly going to be like cool grays and like steel blues. I've got one of the concepts here somewhere. I'll show you. It's a fairly low-key color scheme, but I'm going to just do it in kind of a fun way. So this was a front-on view that I hadn't finished coloring yet. I might add some color to the panel bits. I haven't decided whether that's just going to be line work in the metal or if those panels will be colored. But these little orbs here are like black glass. So they'll be really dark, cold gray here. And oh, missed a spot. There we go. How about no? There we go. Bye-bye. We don't play that game here. This is just the robot capybara. They call them cyberbaras in the world of Snuffles. And they're just used for carrying stuff. Sometimes people ride them. They're used instead of horses to pull carriages and stuff like that. Here, let me give you a little sneaky peek at something. And you'll see. There you go. So these are pages from the actual book. Let me find a good one. Here we go. This is a page I really like that's not too spoiler heavy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how these all came out. Let's swap over to... yeah, those are the pages that I'm just waiting for the colors back on at the moment, because my friend Pete is doing the colors. Excuse me. You can see his colors on the first page at the Kickstarter page. He's colored both stories for me. I wrote and drew both stories, but Pete's coloring both stories. But then we've got Hassan Otsman Elhau is the letterer for the Below the Waist story, and Tobin Rasico is the letterer for the Snuffles story. Because I drew them slightly differently stylistically. I didn't get to do as much differently in the inking, unfortunately, as I wanted to because of time limits. But I did draw them more stylistically differently, and that's why I went with different letterers for each story. But it'll be a flip book, so you'll read the first 10 pages and then flip the book over and read the other 10 pages. And I haven't decided yet, but I kind of feel like double billing is something that I'm going to do again with some other short stories. Yeah, I feel like this isn't going to be the last we see of double billing, because I've got a lot of short scripts that I need to find homes for, and I don't want them to be stuck in digital limbo. You know, just because they're only 10 pages, why shouldn't they get a chance to be printed? Hi, Wolfie Wolfang. Welcome, welcome. Why shouldn't they get a chance to be printed? And so by doing further issues of double billing as my kind of recurring thing, I can release more short stories in print, and I think that would be really fun. I definitely approach it a little bit differently before going to grants or crowdfunding next time. But I think I'd like to do it again in the future. Maybe next year. Definitely not this year. I do have another short story that's actually turned out to be a full issue, about 20 pages, of Snuffles. And it's a prequel story about Snuffles that my friend Lewis is going to be drawing. Hi, Blythe Jane. And then I will be writing the rest of Snuffles live on stream soon. Once I'm finished with some of these drawing projects, I'll write the Snuffles stories live while we're working on the live stream on Thursday nights. The first thing I'll be doing is finishing off the world building survey that I've got. I'm in the process of filling that out. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to rewrite the outline, because there's a few things that I wrote before I knew more about tropes, and just a lot of things, actually, a lot of progressive ideas and ideals that I have now that I didn't have as much information about back then when I first wrote that outline. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to rewrite to be better, both in terms of quality of writing, but also in terms of representing the people that I want to represent well, and that sort of thing. So we'll be doing that sort of stuff on stream sometimes. And then probably next year, I'll start drawing the actual ongoing series. I think I'm going to launch it as a webcomic. Um, I'm hoping to be able to start drawing it by the end of this year, but I won't be releasing it until next year once I've got a certain amount of pages pre-done. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But if anyone's got any other last minute questions, now's the time to get them in before I wrap up for the night. That's all right. I'm sure we'll think of some in the future. And for anyone who is in either Twitch or TikTok chat that wants to check it out, there is the link to the Kickstarter of Double Billing that I was just talking about, where you'll be able to see some of Pete's colors on those pages. There's links to a few interviews that I did about the book, and just a whole bunch of other stuff about the stories. And also, if you're an Australian who's familiar with the band The Chats, there is like a not a direct cameo, but a nod to one of the members of the Chats band in the Double Billing comic. It's a blink and you'll miss it, but I guess it is technically also like 2 whole pages out of 10. But it's just a quick little nod to that. But yeah, that's me done for tonight then. And I'll see you all tomorrow night, a bit earlier, probably closer to 8:30 or 9 tomorrow. In the meantime, if you're an Australian, good night, rest well, see you tomorrow. If you're an American or UK, have a good day. I don't know what time it is for you, but have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe, follow the channel, like and share some videos. Check out my 2 YouTube channels. One is for all the content here, all my like non-podcast stuff, and the other one is my podcast. So Brainbeast Studios is my D&D stuff, all my live VODs, interviews, stuff like that. And No Capes Show on YouTube is my podcast where I get to sit down and talk about all the comics that I love and have a good old book club hangout with a bunch of really amazing comic book creators. There are 3 and a bit seasons. I put it on hiatus when we moved to Ballarat because I got a bit overwhelmed, but I am slowly catching up on all of the episodes that I recorded but did not have time to edit yet. So those will be coming out this year, in the next few weeks probably. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll see you later. Have a good night. I can't wait to draw Raph tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. See you tomorrow.